Hello class and professor. Thanks for watching my video and I look forward to the comments. My client is a woman named Sherry. She's a 34-year-old divorced mom, single mom. She's steadily employed as an administrative assistant in a local company, and she lives in an apartment nearby her workplace with her 12-year-old daughter, Karen. She makes relatively low wages, but in spite of that, she's been able to support both her and her daughter without child support. She has no contact with her ex-husband, Bob. Karen also does not have any contact with him at this time. Sherry is very close to her mom, Phyllis, who has helped take care of Karen since she was a baby. She's grateful for that role because she was widowed shortly before Karen was born. Sherry is a Sherry is an only child, and she has a very close relationship with her two cousins. They often eat together, so she has a good family support system. Sherry has worked at the same company for 10 years, and she describes her workplace as chaotic. She has worked with the same boss for about 9 years, and she claims that her relationship with him is very stressful. Sherry gets along with her coworkers in general, but she doesn't go out with them anymore as part of her commitment to recovery. Sherry says she started using alcohol when she was 13 years old, sporadically. Her father was an alcoholic as well, and she says her use of alcohol became more serious after her daughter was born. Sherry has been in rehab 2 times, and most recently she completed a program successfully. The program met 3 times a week, and she also attended AA meetings twice a week. Sherry has a sponsor, and she has kept up with the AA meetings. She keeps in touch with her sponsor at least 1 time a week, and sometimes more. Recently, Karen, her daughter, was sexually assaulted at school, and Sherry worked with school officials, and the case was tried in juvenile court. They had just learned that the boy is going to return to school very shortly. Sherry describes herself as feeling depressed and very stressed, and says she's having a very hard time maintaining her recovery. She states that she started to miss AA meetings and has missed a few check-ins with her sponsor. Sherry is very afraid of relapsing and is feeling overwhelmed. And currently, Sherry isn't on any medication. Some areas that Sherry has said she wanted to work on is to find a way to relieve her depression and stress without alcohol, and to get back to regular AA meetings, and also to gain confidence in her ability to maintain her sobriety. Hi Sherry, it's good to see you today. How are you doing today?
Good, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I'm not doing great.
Oh really? You had a hard week?
Yeah, well, the things still bother me from what happened at the school. And yeah, so it's still
Yeah, that came up last week and you were pretty upset about it.
Right. Yeah. And
Well,
the boy's going to come back to school, I guess, so that's going to be hard.
when is that, do you know?
I think it's this week coming up.
Oh wow. So is your daughter lined up for any kind of counseling for this week at the school?
I don't know. We went last weeks, but I don't know what they've got going forward.
Mm. Well, we can, I'm sure that you can call and how does Karen feel about that?
She just is kind of blocked off, so she's not talking about it. And
Wow.
so I'm more worried about it than she is, I think.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe you could make an appointment with her counselor at school, just so that you feel like you know that they're gonna take care of her.
I suppose I have to do that. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've done a good job, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, we got to court, but I don't understand why they're letting them back in school.
Yeah, well, that was the court decision, wasn't it?
Right, right,
Yeah. Well, it's no wonder that you're feeling upset.
right.
Yeah. Well, before we start this session, I wonder, do you mind if we go back a little bit to what we've been through before?
No, that's fine.
Okay, I just want to review a little bit. When we first met, you spoke about being depressed and very stressed, and you were afraid of relapsing, right?
Right.
You had just
right.
finished a program, and you were coming up on what, 6 months of sobriety now?
Yes, yeah, right.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Uh-huh. So when we went over that, all those things that were bothering you, I taught you about automatic thoughts, didn't I?
Right. The things that I think, just think, right.
Right. And we learned how to keep track of them, and you've been very good about doing your homework.
Right. Well, it's helpful to write down what I think, and it's not just rattling around in there. So.
Yeah, it helps it kind of dissipate,
Right.
right?
I can see it a little bit.
Uh-huh. So you feel like that's really helped them?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I still think a lot of those things, but it's good to see
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, well, we have to work on that, right? Yeah, right. Not, you identify them and then we work
Right.
some of the stuff out. So, yeah. So we did, we talked about stress and depression, but we also did some work at your work, right? About your work.
Right.
I remember you feeling like you weren't doing a good job at work at all.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you did some recording on that.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember what you figured out?
Well, it helps when I think that it's not all me. That some of it is other people and what's going on for them.
Excellent.
So that helps.
Excellent.
Right. And
before it was all you, wasn't it?
well, yeah.
In your mind.
In my mind. And then I think with Karen right now, I'm kind of like, I got to deal with this, so I'm not going to worry about this work thing. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You
Right.
put
So
that
just
aside and work on something.
do what I got to do at work, and
Right.
yeah.
But when you first came in, it seemed like you didn't really want to talk about Karen.
Yeah, well,
Like when I did the assessment, you just really slipped over it and you didn't really talk about it too much.
well, I don't feel good about the whole thing.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like you might be a little bit more ready right now.
Well, it was hard. We had to go through all the stuff with the school, and you had to talk to the court, and so I had to. No, I couldn't pretend that it wasn't there. So
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. Okay, so we did some preliminary work about depression and stress and work, and now we're moving on to Karen. But can you tell me how is Karen doing right now?
Well, like I said, she seems to be doing okay. She doesn't much want to talk about it. She's just trying to do her school and be with her friends, and that's pretty much what she's focused on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you think she's still doing well?
Yeah, I think she's doing okay. She's just kind of in the zone of doing what she has to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's in a process, isn't she?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't talk a lot about it.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's probably right now probably good that she's focusing on talking with the counselor. She's doing her appointments.
Right. Right. She still does her appointments.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. So you gave me a good report about this last week, and towards the end of the session, you got upset even though you were telling me that she was doing okay. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, I still don't feel good about my part in it. So.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we decided to work on this together today. Are you still feeling up to doing that?
Yeah.
We can go as slowly or. No,
we could talk. It seems to be useful, helpful.
Okay, good. So you're ready. That's very good. Part of why I reviewed what we did together previously is to maybe give you a little bit of a reminder that you've made progress and that the work is worth it. Because it is hard. It's very hard.
Right. Yeah. Well, it does seem to help, and I don't want to go back to where I was, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've learned a lot, haven't you? You really have.
Right.
Doing a very good job. Okay, so you were supposed to do two things today before you came here today. That was your homework, right?
Right.
First thing you were supposed to do is to keep in close contact with your sponsor because you were so upset. And I wonder how that went for you.
Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes I don't feel like I need it so much, but I reach out when I feel like I need to.
So you called her at least once this week, or how many times did you call her?
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 times this
good.
week.
Good. No, even though if you don't feel like you need it, it can't hurt, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I just feel like not talking to anybody. So, but
yeah, that's understandable. But you're pushing through that, which is really good.
Yeah. Well, I need to do it for me and for Karen. So, right.
That's really good. That's very good. Okay, so then the second thing was that I asked you to jot down your thoughts anytime you thought about Karen. And I can look at what you wrote, but I'm wondering if you yourself have identified any main thought that you saw from what you wrote down.
Well, I think the main thing I'm feeling is that I let her down by not, protecting her from this.
Oh, so you feel like you should have protected her
Right.
from that attack?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, if I was a better mother, I would be able to do more for her.
Okay, well, all right, so let's go through this step by step, okay, in little pieces. So, your main thought that you came up with is you didn't protect your daughter, right? Is that right?
Right.
And why do you feel like you didn't protect your daughter?
Well, because I should have known, paid attention, or seen some signs of a potential problem, or asked her more about what was going on at school, or talked to other parents more and been more alert to what's happening in school.
Okay. Okay. But were you at school that day?
No, no, of course I'm not at school that day.
Okay. And was she having any difficulties before this?
Well, she didn't say anything, and nothing seems to have come out in the court stuff.
Mm-hmm. And did she have any, did you have any reason to believe that she was in danger?
Not except that people are crazy anyway, but
You mean in a general
in a general
sense?
way, right. But,
So,
no.
so the antidote to that is to keep her in a bubble, right?
Yeah, well, you know, if our life had worked out different, we might live in a different neighborhood and have different schools and,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
so
Do you feel like the school is any less safe than other schools?
yeah, I don't think it's the best school.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But do you know that? Have you checked into it? Or
No, it's, you know, it's not the best school in the region, so.
uh-huh. Yeah. Well, schools get evaluated on many different things.
Right, right.
So, um, well, did you hear of any other assaults taking place at the
No,
school?
no, I haven't, no, none of them came up in the court questions either, so.
So as far as we know, there have been no previous sexual assaults at
No,
school.
no.
Okay, so did you help her when you found out?
Yeah, well, we went right after it, right? We went right to the school and right to the police and, right, and then we got the counselor, and so that was good.
So you did everything you possibly could at that point?
Yeah, at that point, right, yeah. We didn't just hide or something, right? Yeah, we
Right.
took, so they were hard, but we took steps, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's really good, and it seems to me you did what you could do. So here's what I'm thinking. You know all these things that you weren't at the school. You had no previous signs of trouble with your daughter. You there were no previous episodes of sexual assault that you knew about. You weren't there at school. So you know all these things. And yet you still feel, you still have that main thought.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's my job to protect her, so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, I wonder if we could go about this in a different way. There's a technique I'd like to use that's called partial sentence. And what it is I would start a sentence and you would finish it. So for instance, I'll say, when I'm hungry,
I order Domino's pizza.
Oh, Domino's?
Domino's pizza. Yeah.
I like Joey's pizza myself. Okay, so, and I'm happiest when...
Happiest when Karen and I get to have happy times together.
Okay, so now you know the technique,
Okay.
right? And
Mm.
so what we're going to do is use your automatic thought in that way, okay? So, I just want to, it might be a little hard, but I just want to make sure you're ready to do that. Are you still on board here? Are you still okay?
Yeah, okay. You try it.
Okay, good. Okay. So, I'm going to say your automatic thought just like you said. I didn't protect my daughter
Because I've got us in a mess with all the bad decisions I've made.
Mhm. And so, are you talking about what kind of mother you are? Like, what are you talking about
Right.
there?
Well, I got divorced, and I got more trouble with alcohol. And, right. So I wasn't in any shape to really be the best mother I could be.
The best mother you could be. Yeah. Okay. So, I think the rest of the session, um, we're gonna use that. Um, I'm not, I'm not a good mom, and we'll have to, how we do it here, we have to provide evidence for what we do, what we say to be true. So we're gonna take the statement and we're gonna do a worksheet together. Is that okay?
It'd be okay. Good.
Okay, I would use the rest of the session to rate, I would ask Sherry to rate the statement she made about being a bad mom. I would ask her how strongly she would believes that from a scale of 1 to 10, or it could be 1 to 100. How true is it that you are a bad mom? And then what I would do is I would do a worksheet with her that we would talk about what a good mom does and what she did that she felt made her a bad mom. And I would also include what her mom would say about her mothering, and also what she thinks Karen would say too. So then after we did that worksheet, we would re-rate it. And so, and hopefully Sherry would make some progress in that area. So the session purpose was supposed to be exploring Sherry's thoughts around the sexual assault of her daughter, Karen. Sherry has done a lot to help Karen through this whole incident. But it seems like this trauma is still playing a major role in Sherry's problems. So, when Sherry reported this incident and the assessment, she kind of breezed past it, and she wasn't ready to deal with it. But as you can see, she was more ready to deal with it now. So I chose CBT to use with Sherry because of her alcohol abuse and depression. Though CBT is a well-documented, effective treatment for both of those disorders, so that's why I used it. Sherry also has learned a lot about addiction in the program she attended, and she understands the pitfalls of maintaining her sobriety. So I felt that her coping abilities were what needed to be worked on mostly. And so CBT, I feel, is a very good method to shore up somebody's coping skills. The ABC model of CBT really fits what's happening with Sherry and Karen. The ABCs in CBT mean A is for activating event, which triggers behaviors and brings consequences, emotions, and thoughts. So the activating event obviously is Karen's sexual assault, and this triggered some problems for Sherry, increased her stress. She stops going to AA meetings and is in danger of relapsing. And So and she was sinking into depression. So I feel like that's a very clear model of the ABCs for CBT. So one of the questions that I had that came up during when I was putting this project together is there's a real debate going on in substance use disorders. It's kind of indirectly related to Sherry's case, but it's a big issue that I'm having trouble figuring out, and that is the issue of whether an SUD program should require total abstinence or benchmark less and less use. Some programs are very adamant that abstinence is the only acceptable way, and other programs accept, partial abstinence. So I wonder if any of you have some experience with that, and I would look forward to any kind of comments that you could give me on that. So thanks for watching, and good luck.